Oh, one more thing. I do have something to mention. Okay, so, yeah, in my last video, things got a little hairy. Apparently, my discovery of the Dragon Head Star Fort at Fort George was a controversial discovery. I didn't know this. I thought people knew that this thing existed when I first found it. People tried to say it was nothing and that I was just seeing a shape.
No, it is.
Yeah, okay, well, anyway, the death threats rolled in. The people trying to shut me down came in. We figured out that the guy who made the post isn't me, it's this guy. This guy's the guy who made the post, not me. That guy found this thing. That's what he is. And this is the guy. His name's Chad. Member of the Royal House of Chadistan from somewhere over there. He's absolutely epic. This guy's great. There's a royal feud going between the House of whatever, Windsor, and the House of Chadistan. Anyway, finding this thing was the most controversial thing that I think I could have ever done. I can't believe it. People are freaking out on me for it. It's gone completely insane overdrive, and I don't know what to tell you other than I found something that was apparently lost in history. And the way I found it was looking at the volcanoes and the fires up there. And by the way, in case you don't know what I'm talking about, it's up here in Scotland at Inverness, right here. Let me turn on my borders and labels. And this is the way that everybody viewed it for the last 300 years. They were told that it was a triangle-shaped star fort. A star-shaped fort is what they called it. And I just came in to look at it, and I saw that it was this. But you have to look at it, of course, you have to, somehow everybody missed it. Okay. But this is Loch Ness right here. Here's Loch Ness. Loch Ness has, this is River Ness. River Ness flows into the bay where this thing is. So, I don't know. Again, it's just getting really weird. I didn't know that when I made my original video, that this was the mouth of Loch Ness. But now, again, we've got the dragon head-shaped fort. This is not up for debate. This is a dragon head, and this is Fort George.
Amen. Fort
George. And in this church, here in the snout of the dragon, is a stained glass of St. George slaying the dragon. Not St. Michael, it's St. George. They got him there slaying the dragon. Here's the dragon head-shaped fort. And somehow everybody missed this for 300 years. There's a museum there, and special forces are stationed there, called the Black Guard or something like that. The Black Road Guard or Black something. Black Guard something is stationed here, as well as it's a museum called the Highlander Museum. It's got a functional church in it, a bunch of tourists that go to this place, and somehow everybody missed that it was a dragon's head. When I put it out, first, for 3 days, the last 3 days, people said I was seeing shapes that I just wanted to see. That's what people said. They denied that this was a dragon head fort. But then yesterday, the argument changed. People came over and started saying that everybody already knows that it's a dragon head, Dutch. Delete your video.
Oh.
So for the first 3 days, people told me I was seeing shapes. Now it's gone from that to everybody knows that it's a dragon head, Dutch. You need to delete your video. Really? I'm not deleting my video, and I didn't mean to discover that. It was just, I noticed the shape. It is a dragon's head. It's Fort George. The problem is it's 300 years old. They didn't have flying machines back then to fly over, did they? They have dirigibles back then, you know, the Imagination Land balloon. What do they have? Got a Da Vinci's balloon in 1600s flying over this thing so you could see it. It doesn't make sense, but there it is, and it's at the mouth of Loch Ness. So it's 300 years old. Everybody missed it somehow. I make a video on it. I get attacked for 3 days straight. Then, to top it off, the video got held on my YouTube channel.
Ooh.
Do you want to see? Check this out. This is insane. So all my other videos do really well. I'm 3 days in. This thing got held at 50,000 views for 2 days. It didn't move or budge. Held, censored, whatever you want to call it. And then down below, I got this. Finally, a local. I live a stone's throw away from Fort George. I've never heard of this before. It's definitely not something that's spoke of locally either, to my knowledge. You might want to get in touch with the tourism board about your discovery. Perhaps they can put you in touch with whoever manages the venue. And I'll just tell you guys, oh, and here's the stained glass that's inside. So, Fort George, Historic Scotland, Inverness Chapel, stained glass, St. George and the Dragon. And that's just on Alamy stock photo, or Alamy or whatever. So I'm making a big deal about that because this kind of commentary started coming in, telling me to stop covering this and to delete my posts, whoever these people are. And my response is there. But then you can see, some of my viewers are asking more pertinent questions. And I would say that that's an actual good question to ask. Normally, I might say that might be a little over the top, but in this case, me finding a dragon head-shaped castle at the mouth to Loch Ness, and everyone in the world missed it, then when I find it, I get attacked and say it doesn't exist for 3 days, and then they switch their story to say it always existed. That's 1984. We were never at war with Eurasia. Now we're at war with Eurasia. Eurasia was always our enemy. No, they were always our friend. Depends on what day of the week it is. If you haven't read the book 1984, you don't know what I'm talking about, but you should probably go read it. That being said, now we're talking about 1984. Let's get into the United States.